Oh, this one came out on my mother's birthday.
Happy birthday.
What a bitch. All right. Definitely leave that in. Okay.
It's not like she listens.
Well, we hope not.
Hi, Cheryl.
Yikes.
Hello and welcome to A Star to Steer Her By, a Star Trek podcast. We are here for episode 111.
Woo! I am forever doing jazz hands over here.
You are. And we will be discussing 2 episodes today, a little change of pace. We're going to be doing the Masterpiece Society and Conundrum. And as usual, I am Caitlin, and joining me today are...
Jake.
Chris.
And Ames.
Yes, quite.
You're members of the Masterpiece Society.
Yes, brown eye.
Did you hear him just say brown? Oh, sorry. Oh, you heard him. He just said brown eye, guys.
Brown eye?
Oh, boom's your uncle. Brown's your eyeball. We're great.
They're very,
All right. Yes, we are. We're awesome. All right. In the Masterpiece Society, a bunch of Nazis made a master race and stuck them on a planet. And when people that they don't know show up, it fucks everything up. The Enterprise is the Enterprise is forced to, or the Enterprise crew is forced to intervene because, I don't know, a shard or a core fragment? Yes, stellar core fragment is coming, and it's not gonna, like, crash into them all. I almost said Agamemnon style. Armageddon style.
What does that even mean? It's
I don't know,
kill themselves?
cheat on your wife, kill your daughter, and then die, I think is Agamemnon style.
Living the dream.
But anyway, it's not Armageddon style, it's not going to hit them, but it is going to cause some serious seismic activity that's going to take their above-water Atlantis down on its way by. Fucking lame biosphere, not even underwater. Idiots. Anyway.
It's like they never saw Biodome with Pauly Shore.
Dude, that fucking movie is awesome.
Yikes.
I loved that movie as a kid.
I don't think you have to. I think only you've seen it recently then.
No, I haven't. But as a kid, I thought it was
awesome.
hilarious. But yeah, so they have to intervene to stop this thing, and they put Geordi together with, like,
a woman. Bad idea.
Yeah, pretty bad. No, he managed to not, creep on her, really.
That's true.
But
you
yeah,
don't know what he did in his own time.
It's true. Well, yeah, I mean, I'm sure he has had his relations with her many times in a holographic
Just
form.
adding to the menagerie.
Yikes.
Oh, no. So, let's see, the thing is, we say this, but, like, Barclay was the one with a menagerie. He had fucking everybody. He had a menagerie trois.
Yeah, but he was only fucking Troy. He was only fucking Troy.
Anyway.
I don't know, he had his head in Bev's lap, taking a nap.
It was like a motherly thing.
Gross. All right.
Wesley was eating a pie.
Ew. All right.
You know what that symbolizes?
Pussy.
It's true.
Sorry, is that what you were gonna say? Or...
It's true.
Were you not expecting me to make the context text?
No, that's so much text.
Thank you.
It's a lovely font too.
It is. Anyway, so this place is Moab 4, and they let Enterprise crew members down onto the surface in spite of no one ever goes in or no one ever comes out, a la the Willy Wonka chocolate factory. But these Oompa Loompas aren't interested in chocolate. They mostly want to not die and then go back along with their lives where they're all bred.
They mostly want a pure bloodline.
Yeah, that's what they really want. Yeah. Oompa Loompa, Hitler
but it's
is
okay.
king.
It wasn't Nazi because there was a black guy. So
There were 2.
Yeah, but like also
So
the guy who, what was his name? You got his name here?
Aaron Connor or the black
guy?
No,
the black
I didn't
guy.
write down the black guy.
Yeah, of course you didn't.
Martin?
Nice.
I think it was Martin.
No, it was Martin.
Martin.
Yes, it was. Good call. You feel like Martin kind of... He was like the big stick in the mud, though, wasn't he? Like, he kind of sucked.
He was the most Aryan of all of them. He was the most.
He was like,
keep it pure.
Keep those motherfuckers.
Keep it pure.
The spice must float. No, wait, that's a different thing.
But anyway, basically, all hell breaks loose because there's like cross contamination, both of like microorganisms.
And macroorganisms.
Ugly bump and also like new ideas being introduced to these people who have otherwise been like completely isolated, and basically there's,
Troy was emphatically ovulating.
I also sensed that.
She was positive that she's ovulating.
You must be a betazoid.
Well, I'm
Emphatically
not, but
ovulating.
I did just stay at a Holiday Inn. Isn't that a...
It is. Anyway.
Nailed it. Okay, anyway, basically, whatever. Next, Conundrum. It's fine, we'll get into it more. Conundrum.
I like these synopses. They're much
They
better
did
than
way
Jake's
better.
last
You know, I'm just
Mine
trying to
last
fly
week were
through this shit
horrible.
right now. What even happened in this fucking one? Oh, Conundrum. Okay, so... yeah, that's a good one. I didn't remember what it was. That's funny. Yeah, that was a joke. I don't just have a bad memory. No, so in Conundrum, everybody's brain gets wiped, and they have to figure out who they are, and... Meanwhile, they're being sent on this mission to kill the fuck out of the Lycians, who are weak as shit. Like, they don't even have a photon torpedo between them. Thousands of them. They suck.
And they live in God from Sex Planet.
They did.
Is that where they lived? Good for them. But yeah, so we have these orders to go kill the Lycians, and it seems a little weird. Troy keeps having feelings about it being wrong, but
And
no one
Riker.
listens
She has
to her.
lots of feelings about Riker, too.
Even though they don't know that Troy always has stupid feelings because nobody remembers who anybody else is, they still know to ignore her stupid opinion, even though she's right this time.
Poor
And,
Cassandra.
Ken's bar.
And Ensign Rowe bones down with Riker.
Multiple times.
Yeah. And who could have seen that coming? Riker whips out his tromboner, just for old time's sake. Ultimately, they find out that they've been tricked by a Sataran who snuck on board named Macduff, of no woman born. And that was a literary joke-ish. And
will come to Dulcinea.
they figure out that he's a lying son of a bitch, and they don't kill the Lycians, and they have to send them like an apology note in a fruit basket, like, sorry, we killed your people and destroyed your ship.
Man, if only they had those dudes from last week on their...
The Yulians?
if only they had a Yulian on board.
Oh, yeah, they could restore their memory.
Yeah.
Make Keiko think of her cup some more.
Yeah. Oh, okay. All right, the Master Race Society. What do we got here?
Yeah, seriously. My first note. Jesus Christ, they're eugenicists. They fled Earth after Khan's plot failed.
Probably,
That's
yeah.
actually not... Yeah, that's...
The timeline roughly...
Well,
Yeah,
I don't
so
know,
how
because
did-
they
how
say
did-
they've been there for 200 years, which puts them...
Yeah, late 22nd.
Which is...
So how did the Federation not know they were there? Because they thought that planet there was nobody there.
It could have just been, I'm sure there's a lot... I'm sure
How did they not
around
know that
time,
SETI Alpha 5 got blown up?
Well,
and there were
that's
lots
a good
of,
point.
and like there was also the
Well,
Irish. They didn't know whether the Irish.
Yeah, they-
Up along ladder people?
Yeah.
Like,
This
it does-
episode reminded me of them a lot.
It does seem like a lot of the late 22nd century colonial efforts were lost to records. Because I
Good.
think they might even predate the Federation, right? Because it's not formally founded until the late 22nd.
Yeah. So
Interesting.
if this, I believe the timeline would, if it's 200 years and they're not rounding too much, it would put it around or shortly after Enterprise.
Well, it has to... So, this is retconned, of course, but it has to be at least a little before because they're shocked by transporters.
Well, I thought about that. And here was my thinking, because at the beginning of Enterprise, the transporter was very, very new. And,
That's
and
true.
so new that they weren't even putting people through it.
True.
They were only putting equipment through it.
Well, but
So
also,
it's
the Army always gets shit
that's what I was
before
gonna say.
civilians.
It's conceivable that civilians would have had no idea that.
Yeah,
that
that's true.
existed.
Inconceivable!
But yeah, you're right. These guys would have skipped town probably right around the time the NX won.
Yeah. So, and it also seems to me that given that was still early days of interstellar space travel, that just like the New World, that there was probably a bit of a kind of a land rush,
Yeah, any
Like-
dipshit who could get their hands on a ship could go and try to found a colony.
Dipshit.
I wouldn't be surprised if they were
Nice.
founded by
Thanks.
Mormons.
Yeah, there
it's
was
kind
kind of a weird Mormon-y vibe.
Yeah, it's Cobol.
I can't
and
even...
it's a shithole.
I can't even explain why I think
that's
that.
the Mormon. That's the planet Jesus went to.
Oh, good.
It's also the planet that spawned the 13 colonies, of which Earth is one, in the Battlestar Galactica ethos, which
Cobalt?
you'll be maybe disappointed to learn. Yeah, Cobal's the home world. That's the
Snowball.
That's the place where they go and they see the constellations, and that's how they find the path to Earth.
Got it. So, I forgot that Battlestar Galactica was basically just a Mormon origin story.
Well,
I had no idea.
It's not really. It's just I guess the people that were involved in it
I think we should cover Battlestar when we're done with this series. If these series ever end. They won't.
But yeah, so Cobol...
That's true, because we've still got New Discovery, and then we've got Jean-Luc.
If I understand it, if there's any Mormons listening, I'm so sorry.
There's at least one.
Yes, there is.
So maybe you can tell us...
Tell Jake why he's wrong.
Tell me I'm wrong, but if I understand it correctly, which I probably don't, that is where in Mormon mythology Jesus went after leaving Earth.
Where did Santa Claus go after leaving Earth?
North Pole.
He went to Mars.
Anyway. Masterpiece Society.
There's a planet in Doctor Who called Christmas, and that's where he went.
Is that true? That's adorable.
There is.
So...
When did they go to Christmas?
I don't remember.
Last Christmas or something. I don't know. It's the one where Matt Smith gets it.
Oh, I don't remember.
No, that was...
present.
No, that was...
Or he gets it...
That was Trenzalore, wasn't it?
No, that's true. No, he gets... Remember, he's stuck on Christmas for, like, eons?
Yeah, that's Trenzalore still.
Oh. Then I'm mixing up episodes, then.
It was a Christmas episode, but... Anyway.
Was the planet...
Oh, the town might have been called Christmas,
town might have been called.
Anyway, this is not a Doctor Who podcast.
Let's see if
despite
Christmas
how often we bring it up
this year.
One of these days we'll do a 10 forward on it, probably.
Yeah. So I know with this episode, the staff was not satisfied with the casting and execution of the episode, and it's funny because I watch it and it's like I don't see like major flaws like I saw in other episodes.
Yeah, no.
I actually,
what didn't they like about it? Did they say?
I think they didn't like John Snyder, who played Aaron Connor. But the thing is, I'm already predisposed to like John Snyder because he was also Bulkra in The Enemy, where I thought he was adorable.
That was the Romulan Geordi was stuck on Galorndon Core.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Well, I kind of thought he was cute as shit.
Yeah, he's a cute.
In case anybody didn't hear it, I said Galorndon Core.
No, everybody heard you, Jake.
Oh,
the
God.
neighbors heard you.
People on Galorndon Core heard you. And that's not even a real place.
Yeah, no, I gotta admit, I quite liked him and Troy together. I know, again, they're just...
Yeah,
Troy can't be in a thing without wanting to get down with somebody.
Her mouth and other pieces on a man.
Whatever, good for her. Good for her getting some D.
But the thing...
She had a fucking crisis about it, though. What the
yeah,
fuck
well,
was
she fell in
Troy?
love. She fell in love.
No, they had to kill 10 minutes
because
and it was like, well, let's have Troy have a fucking crisis about this.
Her bloodline is muddied
by her mother.
Her muddy genes.
Filthy Loaxana.
And that Lil Hitler ain't gonna want to get with her.
He did, though.
He does.
He was so into it.
Yeah, no, Lil Hitler...
He was way more into it than she was.
Yeah, no, Lil Hitler was all about fuck my society.
Yeah, he's like, I'll leave.
Literally,
I'm down.
fuck my society.
So let's talk about this stupid-ass society.
I liked it.
Well...
No.
That came out
your German is showing.
I know, I'm the most
like,
German.
No, what I mean is we should practice
Scheisse!
I really like the concept of how much can...
I really liked how much white people... No,
there were some black guys.
I know.
There were at least two. No, the concept of what is their perfect race, what does that mean, and then what does it mean when another race comes in?
It wasn't so much race, though. It was balance. It was like, we're going to make you a brilliant musician. Well, that's the thing, too, though, is I find that whole thing actually completely, almost unbelievable, because we all know that
nature
by the
versus nurture?
No, I was going to say not two. But by the 24th century, we're all going to be, like, I mean, there'll be lots of whatever biracial children and shit. The perfect everything would probably be biracial at least. There would not be nearly so many white folk, is all I'm saying. Especially by the 24th century. It's surprising that the Enterprise crew is even as white as it is.
Yeah,
that's true.
Filmed in the 20th.
Well, I know. But still, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But especially on this perfect place with its perfect recipe for perfect.
I know, like
everybody would be brown.
You look at the fact that there are a couple distinctly black people and distinctly white people, and you're like, why is there?
And that's
how is this diversity maintained?
Like whoever founded the colony was like, I'm not a racist. Look, I brought some black people. Where are all the Asians and Hispanics? And shut up.
When do they do the orgy porgy on this planet?
What is that again?
It's Aldous Huxley.
From Brave New World?
Brave New World.
Nice.
Similar concept.
Do you think they have a festival?
Maybe. But I'm not even going that far yet in my gripe.
Okay, where's your gripe?
Who the fuck picked this inhospitable, poisonous planet to put your perfect society on?
That's a good point.
Well, it's like
Why would you go to Sex Planet?
It's like Andrew Ryan having to build his shit under the water. People were probably like, get the fuck out of here.
Well, yeah, that way, I mean, in theory, you're Bioshock. Well, he did it because he figured the surface world was going to die in nuclear fire. But...
So he figured, we'll go to a planet that's already died in nuclear fire. Perfect.
Well, I think you're kind of getting there, though. I think maybe the idea is just we're less likely to have anyone show up. You know, if they went to a planet that was like...
Yeah, if they were on Ryza, people would be there all the time.
Right, or even if they found a planet that was uninhabited but, like, really nice, people would show up eventually. Like, hi, neighbor! It's like, oh, Jesus.
They'd name it Iceland. People wouldn't be faked out.
Yeah.
We fell for that once.
Yeah.
You know what this episode actually reminds me a whole lot of, and what I think might have even inspired the writing on it?
World War II history.
No. For the world is hollow and I've touched the sky.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because
with their generational shit?
Well, yeah, but it's very similar, right? It's a closed environment and it's being threatened with an apocalyptic thing. The only big difference is that these bozos know that they're living in a bubble versus...
And didn't everyone have assigned, like, duties? Yeah.
I don't know. Natira could pick her mate, and she picked well.
She did.
And they also, and they live by the book, as it were.
Oh, was that the one that humped Doc?
Yeah, I want there to be that. There's got to be fanfic of Natira and Doc, and if there isn't, I'll write it.
Well, yes, do that.
Yeah, I hadn't made that connection, but now that you say it, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
But at any rate, yeah, it does seem ridiculous to me. I don't buy it because it's fucking space. Okay.
The Final Frontier?
Yeah. I mean, there's tons of planets.
No, that's 5.
You could still build your closed society. You could still build the wall, as it were, or the dome in this case, without the punishment for a crack is everyone dies.
Yeah, it's true.
You could put it on, or like a planet where, hey, if shit hits the fan, at least we can get some resources from outside. Maybe we go pick an apple off that tree.
Well, I mean, this society was not founded by someone who was completely level-headed.
I'm guessing it was founded by a religious nut.
Possibly.
Like someone that was like, I am the fucking Messiah.
Yeah.
We're gonna form the perfect,
or like a Charles Manson type of situation. Like we're gonna have a family and we're gonna wait for the interstellar wars to fight themselves out.
Maybe these are the descendants of the Heaven's Gate. Maybe they actually did. Did anybody notice if they were wearing trainers? Were they all wearing Nikes?
I don't know what that is.
No, they were wearing various types of footwear.
Was it Reeboks? I don't know what it was. The Heaven's Gate was a cult that did a mass suicide.
Oh, was this in Waco?
No, that was the
Waco was murdered by the U.S. government.
Yeah, but that was also a cult, though. That was
yes. Don't get me wrong.
Well, I got the cult part right anyway. I guess I need to know more about Waco, but we can talk about that later.
No, the Heaven's Gate was a cult that famously did a mass suicide.
The Kool-Aid guys?
Because that was Jonestown.
Damn it.
That was yet another.
So many.
That was yet another.
Sorry, Jake. I'm not going to interrupt you again.
Stop asking. There's too many.
I'm sorry.
And they
did a mass suicide.
They did a mass suicide because they believed that they would ascend to the ship that was hiding in the trail of Comet Hale-Bot.
Yep.
We can't prove that they didn't.
And they did kill themselves. They may have done a similar Kool-Aid thing. I don't know, but they did. I can't remember how they killed themselves. It
was poison, I think.
And they were all wearing
trainers.
They were
I think Reeboks. Yeah. And actually, sadly, I just remembered a Star Trek connection. Nichelle Nichols' brother was a member of the cult.
Of the Heaven's Gate?
Sucks. Did he kill himself?
Yes, he did not. He did not get out in time, as it were.
Jesus. It's fucking awful.
So,
sorry, Nichelle.
But they believe that they would go onto that spaceship and go off to a promised land in space.
Well, and as I said, we don't have any proof they didn't. So.
That's true. So this could be them, although the timeline doesn't quite add up.
I know. I don't know if it ended up making the recording last week, but we were talking a little bit about infecting societies with diseases and stuff, and I feel like that's kind of what these people are concerned about. Not literal infections, but infections of your genes.
Although I was kind of waiting for that to be a plot point.
Yeah, like you were like a common cold or something.
Like these people are isolated from society. Like they're like the North Sentinel people. You cannot go to North Sentinel because you will infect the people. They'll shoot you with their arrows, but that's beside the point.
Well, these guys didn't seem to have any arrows.
Well, it's Prime Directive shit, right?
Yeah. And where is Prime Directive land when
Picard
they're humans?
even recognizes that.
Yeah, but he's like, but they're human, right?
Yeah,
so
he
it's
says
fine.
they're human.
No, Riker makes that point.
Oh, did he? Well,
Well,
whoever said that shit is a dum-dum.
I don't think being human negates Prime Directive.
I agree.
Yeah.
They had their own fucking society.
It was a dumb society.
It was
one
dumb.
final note on Heaven's Gate before we move too far from that, because I want to mention this. They did leave one survivor. They did leave one guy. Was it two?
Two.
Oh.
Like intentionally?
Intentionally. And I know at least one of them was, the intent was that he was there to keep the website updated.
Yep, it's still there. You can still even order, like, tapes from them, but they only have tapes.
Wait, but...
Wow.
You can get, like, VHS tapes.
Nice.
But
What's on
why
the
do they
website?
care about maintaining the website? If they've ascended to heaven, how does this person not feel like he got super fucked over because he didn't get to go to
He
paradise?
probably does think he got super fucked over, but he probably also thinks he's doing...
Like a martyr. Like
yeah, he's a
martyring
martyred.
himself.
Yeah, you can find interviews with those folks online. It's
Dude,
What's
I
the
want
other
to buy
one
those
doing?
tapes. Anybody
they're,
got a
they're both
VCR?
they're both there to like maintain the site and
my
respond to
God.
media inquiries as they come in.
Do you have a VCR,
I'm glad
Jake,
they
in your
planned
magical
ahead.
bag of
I
tricks? Because
don't.
I want to watch these tapes.
I'm not giving money to the Heaven's Gate.
No, I will. I'll do it. I'm fine with it. Maybe this podcast should be sponsored by Heaven's Gate.
No,
Jesus.
Well, we were
Amazing.
talking about our great sponsorship deals last week. I'm just thinking, like, they've probably got...
$5s of dollars.
Jonestown, they probably
Fives.
would have been okay if they didn't shoot a freaking congressman.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Can
We're
we
getting
please
way
talk
into
about...
cults.
yeah, we
let's
are.
talk
Let's
about
get back to
cults
Slave.
later,
No,
because
let's
I'm
get back
loving
to
it.
Star Trek.
Let's have a
Oh, cult 10 forward.
10-4 on cults.
Sure,
I would
but
love to.
For now, back to Star Trek.
I love cults and serial killers and all that shit.
Um,
Speaking of which, Star Trek. Why do they keep leaving Scotty alone with those women?
I did like towards the end when Troy has her little confession stroke breakdown next to Picard in the escalator in the turbo
Yeah, in the
lift.
escalator.
He like kind of makes a face like, God, can anyone in my staff keep it in their pants?
Well, he's one to talk. I mean, he was banging
That
That attorney.
Q.
Oh,
and
that's a
that
new one.
attorney.
Yeah.
That not on the internet, it didn't.
Yeah, no shit. No, I didn't mean the Jag, though. I meant,
Vash.
Vash.
Badge.
Vash isn't
Vash.
the Jag.
That's say not the Jag.
Not the
Oh,
Jag.
I love the
The
Jag.
girl.
Yeah.
No, I know, both of them, but Vash sounds too much like Vash. It makes me think of Firefly, which makes me sad.
So
Cool.
Not really.
yeah, Masterpiece Society.
Yeah, so the big plot point of this episode, which I don't even think Caitlin really mentioned in her intro, was that there's being attacked by a roving stellar fragment.
No, she
No,
mentioned
I
that.
did. I mentioned the core fragment.
I know you mentioned the core fragment, but did you mention that Geordi has to use his blindness to help everyone?
Oh, yeah,
no,
that's
I
right.
wanted to leave that for a big surprise during the
I was
episode.
surprised that Jordy didn't mac on the woman, but anyway.
Yeah, no, my note in there was like, all right, so is Geordi going to creep on her or is Riker going to hit on her? Oh, Riker's leaving. I know where this is going.
No.
But then I was wrong.
Yeah, no, instead he fucking slam dunked on her. It was great.
Yeah,
Oh,
he really
he
did.
I would never have been born on your planet.
Well, we were talking about this last week with, how the writers kind of made this disabled character and then not only, made his disability, not an issue, basically gave him superpowers. And
Which
this
is how
was,
he knew she was lying.
He
Right.
can see lying. Actually, no, we discovered that a while ago.
He
He has a lie
That's
detector
true.
test built in.
But in this case, it was he could see there was no
toxic gas
sabotage.
or whatever.
So that's an instance of his prosthesis helping him out. But the eureka moment that they needed to figure out how to move the stellar fragment.
Yeah, because they had to, reroute it 1.2 degrees.
Well, what was stupid
and fortify the shields, and then
yeah. But
Yeah.
No
the
babble.
problem was that the tractor beam, when Data said the density of the star was millions of kilograms per centimeter or something. It was incredible.
1,500% more than
1 pound of which
something.
may weigh up to 1 million pounds.
That's exactly right.
What is that from? This feels like
Futurama.
I was gonna say it feels like a Futurama joke.
It's the dark matter that Nibbler shits out.
Yeah.
Oh
That's
no!
basically what the star frame was made out of, according to
Nibbler
Data.
shit.
But the point being, I say that a
Thank
lot,
God there's
don't
a
I?
point.
That's like a term I use all the freaking time.
Well, it's better than
The
actually.
point being that the tractor beam was not powerful enough to move this thing.
Yeah, they had to invent a phase-shifting something or other tractor beam.
They
or
had
something.
to use
and there's this
love.
whole scene of like weird technobabble where Geordi's like takes his visor off and then is like, wait a minute, yeah, I could use my visor.
I could look at it. Wait, no.
What did the fucking visor?
So it had to do with...
It's the
how it
it's
wouldn't
the way,
overload.
Yeah, it's the
something.
way the information kind of feeds into a bank so that it doesn't overload his shit. It like pulses instead of just being a direct like bombardment. And they were saying if they pulsed the energy beam or whatever, they could not blow out the what do they keep blowing out? There was a thing they kept... Emitters, circuits, yeah. They kept, like, blowing emitter circuits. So they were like, oh, yeah, if we do this, it'll be, 400 times more... Or 400% more effective, but because of the pulse, it won't, like, overheat and blow up our shit right away.
So they use the goodwill of all New Yorkers.
Why did I pay so much attention to this fucking psychobabble this time?
I don't know. I'm so bad at this psychobabble.
But, that's the thing, though. It like, they tried to make it, like, look, because of my disability, because of the thing you would have killed me for... Or not kill me. Aborted me for.
Yeah.
Because the thing that you would have aborted me for, I was able to solve this problem. But really, that's just like you just made it. This is a big stretch there. Like that's like yeah, you did help solve the problem. So that is good that you exist because you helped solve the problem.
But if he didn't have the tech, he never would have made that jump. And
right.
Yeah, they wouldn't have had another.
And that tech wouldn't exist.
Why would anybody have that tech?
People didn't go blind because they would have been aborted before they could be born blind. Sorry, Ames, I didn't mean to play footsies with you there.
You didn't.
It's such a stretch, though. I think.
Well, it was, but it was also he could sick burner and like, wouldn't that just be perfect if I figured this out using tech that wouldn't exist if I didn't exist in your stupid little society, bitch.
To be fair, the Enterprise also does have tons and tons of technology that their people doesn't have.
I know, which she's like super horny for.
And she gets wet over the tech, but I really kind of wish that they spent more time on like
waterproof
showing that the society actually, showing the down because other than her being like, I wish I had better toys to play with, like the society seems pretty great. Like
I don't know. Did you hear that pianist? Ugh.
I do like that he was playing Moonlight Sonata, though. Proof that the most perfect music has already been written, and it is Moonlight Sonata.
That was Moonlight Sonata?
Which Gary Oldman wrote for me.
Why didn't they write something fucking new? If they're this perfect society.
Because they didn't put creatives on the plane.
No, but no, they specifically said, like, you want to genetically engineer a poet because they have, like, genetically engineered poets, which struck me as stupid because, the whole creativity from a poet comes from their struggle, but...
Well, also, what about, one of the things that Jackwad said was,
Jackwad.
The main
guy
there.
Aaron Connor.
Was like, oh, you might have a poet doing manual labor. Well, what if you have a fucking poet doing fucking biotech science?
No, you don't understand, Jake. They've been carefully handcrafted to not do that.
Yeah, my first note that I took is, wow, Connor is really young. How is he their leader? And then you realize, oh, it's because he was basically trained to be their leader.
But that's
from
bullshit
birth.
Because he himself proves that wrong by falling in love with Troy.
Too.
Well,
that's why it's so important for them to not have unknowns introduced into the society, because as long as they are functioning in this non-surprising, everything is going according to plan way, there are no unknowns. But once you start letting people in, this is why Martin didn't want people coming in, because he knew the danger of outside ideas and outside variables that they couldn't account for.
He knew that Connor was super horny.
And this also brings up the philosophical question of what is a society for?
Uh-oh.
What is the purpose of a society?
Ooh, I like this.
Right?
Fucking. I bet it's fucking.
I don't think there is a purpose.
Well, I don't know. If you're specifically going out into space to create a society, what is the purpose?
Purpose was to get away from all those assholes who didn't like eugenics, I think. In this
proliferation and spreading of your ideas.
Well,
ideals.
But the whole... So, okay. So, I don't know. I guess it is a philosophical question.
Advancement. Love.
Advancement for whom?
Footsies. What are we talking about? Ooh, there it is
again.
So
this, of course, is a philosophy of civilization.
Oh, shit's getting deep. You notice this?
I like it.
Yeah, we're not smart enough for this.
Oh.
I mean, we're beyond hunter-gatherer. We're beyond survival.
Right.
We're explorer now.
The hierarchy of needs.
Explorer. So, but they're just stuck in this fucking dome.
Yeah, they left just to isolate themselves.
Well, they talk about how, they're striving for perfection, and then somebody comes in, and I'm going to say Geordie, because why the fuck not, and says, well, what do you guys do for fun? And they're like, well, this is what we do. This is great. This is our fun.
We watch fucking 12-year-olds give piano recitals, which sounds like hell to me.
Yeah, that kid wasn't great.
Well,
genetically engineered to piano, my ass.
To be fair, that kid was, a boxed recording that they got for free on the internet or something of the Moonlight Sonata being played choppily. But no, I'm pretty sure it was the Moonlight Sonata. Can someone who has more information about music tell me? I feel like
I don't remember
that's
which
the
song it
case.
was.
I think it's on the memory album, but I don't care to look it up.
I'm 99% sure.
I don't think it was Moonlight Sonata, unless it was a separate movement. Because the main movement is da 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 da.
Yeah.
Da,
Yeah, but then it gets into that thing. I'm pretty sure. I'm going to look it up because I need to know now.
All right.
By which I mean, I need to be right and validated.
Other than Moonlight Sonata, they also have Humpty Dumpty on this planet.
Yes,
oh
they
my
do.
god, why did they have to go through the whole rhyme? We all fucking know this
Why do
nursery
these people
rhyme.
know it? And also, why does Troy
Half
know
human.
Humpty Dumpty?
Well, her dad was her dad.
Was
Maybe
he?
knew it.
Half human.
Worf was her dad.
He left behind.
Yes.
He left behind a copy of Mother Goose before he died.
The children's rhymes are actually passed genetically.
Oh.
Yes.
That's why every kid intuitively knows
Wheels on the Bus.
Wheels on the Bus, Eeny,
Row,
Meeny,
row, row
Miny,
your
Moe, row, row, your boat.
No, I'm wrong. Apparently it's Chopin. I could have sworn it was Moonlight Sonata. Well, now I have egg on my face.
Delicious
You and your
egg.
eggy face. I actually always wondered that though. Like, how is it that not just like the songs kind of make sense because you get those other ways, but I feel like there's certain like cootie shots, right?
Yeah, that's still a thing.
Like every kid knows how to give someone a cootie shot.
It means that someone's parent thought they were wicked cool and showing them this dumb shit, and then it gets spread to another
I don't think it's
generation.
I think it's older kids, and it comes down year by year.
Where do they learn it?
So like
From older kids.
I think that would be that. I mean, that's memography. That's memes. Those are like OG memes.
Yeah.
And it would be really interesting to like figure out how that spreads.
But these people have shitty memes.
But I mean, like stuff like the cootie
I've never
shots probably
seen Doge.
spread over 40 years. You know.
Well, Cooties has been...
Although I did meet someone
are
who
very, very
grew up in
Seriously.
who grew up in Thailand who did not know the cootie shot. So it was apparently an American thing,
That's
or at least not an East Asian thing.
Do we think anti-vaxxers are against the Cootie shot?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it gives autism.
Bet those people are anti-vaxxers.
Which ones?
The dome people.
Why would they need vaccines?
They don't need vax.
There's no.
Probably half the
They're in
reason
a
they
controlled
left.
environment. They have
Good. Well, the anti-vaxxers
no,
are welcome to fucking leave.
So basically, Troy introduced an STD into the society
I'm
by
guessing
banging both.
One of, well,
No,
all of Riker's.
Oh, that's right, because she shares them.
No, they've...
And now Rose got him.
Yeah.
Oh.
They've got super STI healing shit in the future.
I'm also sure
On this
that-
colony,
that,
though?
that-
No,
Look,
but on the
Riker's
ship.
little bearded clap is resistant and is all over space now.
They have
Little
little mini
bearded
trombones.
That's how you know you've got it. You're haunted by the sound of tiny trombones.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, fuck. I've got Riker's bearded clap.
This is a new weird laugh.
I love how delighted
Every couple
he is.
of weeks
It's
we
so
get a
wonderful.
new one.
I know, it's delightful though, isn't it? Is it? Oh, well, I think so.
Yeah. What else about these boneheads? Okay, so
Trombone heads.
so the black guy
Martin.
did not like letting insiders in or letting insiders out
Or letting Connor in Troy.
or like really anything. He was very much because they said that he was basically the Supreme Court of the colony.
Yeah, the
He
interpreter.
liked being a big fish in a tiny pond.
But
Who can blame him?
but he fucking fizzled. Like nothing happened with that.
Yeah,
that
no.
was just abandoned about halfway through.
Yeah.
It seemed like I was waiting for like a martyrdom or something.
Oh, that would have made it interesting.
You
He
know,
got made to be a bitch.
like it basically
He got wharfed.
Basically, it's like oh, well, the leader said we're doing it anyway, so I guess I'll just stand here and make angry face at people. And
well, because he couldn't very well, like, for example, kill Aaron, because that would upset the balance of the world and shit. Like, I don't know what course of action he would have. Like, when his course of action being, like, just say, let's don't do this, didn't work. Like, what is left if he's trying so desperately to, like, maintain the status quo and not fuck up their shit?
Do you think as soon as people are born, they're, like, handed over to the leaders to be like, all right, assign this person?
Presumably.
I think even before they're born. I think in utero they decide, all right, what do we want out of this one?
I agree with that.
Let's see, we need a new plumber, so get them the plumbing genes.
They all come out with little mustaches and bad Italian accents.
Does that mean that you are... Does that imply that you are more than likely going to be doing one of your parents' jobs?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I think it's all about what you're meant to do in their society.
Or is it genetically destined, or is it just determined?
I think it's that they're like, well, we're gonna need a new plumber soon, and then they shape whatever.
Fucking
right. Well, no, I mean, I think that they just are like, well, who's pregnant now? Let's see who's best suited to this job and figure out which ones we need to get rid of.
Well, I mean, are there ever... presumably people aren't even allowed to, like, conceive until it's determined that they need someone to fill a role.
I think it's kind of Gattaca.
That's probably true.
I'm going to say that it's probably...
Yeah.
I don't know what
that they actually... And, like, I don't even think there's any... There's probably no, like, actual monogamous loving relationships.
No, God, no.
And that's why I think that, like...
Wait, why couldn't there be loving monogamous relationships?
Because I have a feeling that they're basically like, okay, we need the plumber, so we got Joe Blow over here who's got great wrenching genes, and we got Susie shit cunt over here, and
she's this went places,
and she's great at laying pipe. So they've been, the computer said these two get the best genes to create a plumber, so get at it, kiddos.
They don't have rights to their own genes in this society.
Yeah, but I don't see. Yeah, but you
can
can have a
fucking, or is it all test tube shit?
You can have a loving relationship without producing offspring. It's been proven.
Well,
so
yeah.
I think.
But I guess what I mean though is
sure.
But the call to come and reproduce when it's time, I think, does not necessarily.
The problem is, I don't think this is a society that allows love.
I don't know. He seemed to know what love was.
Yeah, and Connor even says, Connor says, like, I have so many, genetic matches on this planet, but you're the one that I like.
Yeah.
Or is it like
your imperfections turn me on?
Or is it like I have this
relationship? Backhanded compliment.
I have a loving relationship with somebody where we're married or coupled, whatever you want to say, and then you get the letter that says, "Oh, all right, I guess I gotta go fuck this other person."
Was it like jury duty?
Knock up. Yeah, you get the summons to go.
So maybe
stick it in.
You can live with and love
stuck in
someone, but one day they're gonna call you up, and you had better get it up for the state.
Well, sure. But, like, nothing's going to give you a bigger boner than doing your duty, because that's, like, literally what this whole fucking place is based on, so no problem. And then it's probably an honor to have been chosen, so even if, your lover, Hub's person, isn't the one whose baby you're having, they're probably just stoked to have you pregnant in their house, bearing the next whatever for the betterment of society, right?
Yeah, but still, a relationship as we think of it probably doesn't quite exist because of that. Like, whatever their version of it is, it's still decidedly different. And I still feel like even if they fall in love, I feel like they're probably just such a cold, sterile society that...
Hannah seemed nice.
Yeah, but she also wanted to get the fuck out of there.
She had no idea she wanted to get the fuck out of there before she met these people.
Well, no, but I mean, I'm saying she seemed predisposed to fall into their own little trap of...
I'm also going to assume that some people just don't end up procreating.
Yeah.
If there's...
Never get the letter.
If there's no need for those genes
the letter was lost in the mail.
Generation. Although I guess that's the other thing, too, is that this... I don't know how many... Did they say how many colonists there were?
Supposedly a couple thousand.
Okay. Is that how many... I wonder how many they started with.
I feel like they say it in the beginning. I don't remember how many it was, but I feel like they might say, like, how many life forms?
So over 200 years. Now this goes back to Caitlin's thing. Over 200 years of a finite gene pool.
Yep.
how are there still white and black people?
Exactly.
How is that
Makes
even
sense.
possible?
I mean, we had trouble with it was up the long ladder again with the people that didn't have enough variety, so that they were going to die out because their genes were literally dissolving.
I call shenanigans. I would think that over that amount of time, over that many generations, that there would have been a mixing effect.
Yeah, there would have had to have
Yeah,
been.
no, like, there shouldn't be white people left.
Especially in that closed system. And I would go further to say that I suspect, based on that there's funny business going on. That they're not doing everything they're letting on.
Nope.
That there's somebody there is like, all right, never mixing the races. That's all right. That's the rule.
And that's what it seems
We're gonna
like.
get the best white piano players and the best black plumbers.
Yikes.
Well, they let Martin be a
Basketball
judge.
players.
Yeah.
See, I wonder how much also they can actually edit the
That's a good point.
embryo.
Yeah, that's true,
Well,
because they can
after it's
tell.
been made.
But
They
just
can
like-
tell whether or not you're going to be an
but
amazing
it's
pianist.
just like-
So probably, right?
Like in vitro, right? When they do test tube babies, well, I guess not test. When they do fertilizate, when they fertilize eggs outside the womb, they don't just do one.
Yeah.
They do,
they do
a
lots.
whole bunch, and then they
'Cause they don't
find the
always
one,
take.
and then they find the one that's looking the best, and they're like, all right, that one goes in, or that too goes in. However many they want to do. Yeah, you want 12 babies, go for it. But
I don't want 12 babies. Thank you.
But so it's in Gattaca, the film, which Caitlin, you have not seen.
I have not
That
seen.
is a
No, you
crime.
mentioned it.
You got to watch that film. It's great. It's got
Jude
That's
Law.
Ethan
it's got
Hawke
Jude
and Jude
Law
Law.
in Ethan Hawke.
Oh, it's recent-ish then.
It's in the last 15 years.
I
And
say
Uma
late
Thurman.
90s,
It's great.
I thought.
It's a great film. It's well worth watching.
All right. You have to remember that until a few years ago, I was not comfortable admitting that I was a science fiction fan.
Gattaca is from 1997.
Wow, that's
Gattaca can drink.
Wow. Okay, good job, Gattaca. Anyway, it's a good film.
Don't drink and drive, Gattaca.
That in that film, though, it's the same idea where basically all of society has gone full eugenics.
Isn't Uma in that too?
Yes, Uma's in
Yep.
that.
Is that when she was married to Gary Oldman?
Nah.
Briefly?
No, it's right before she was married to Ethan Hawke, though.
Oh.
Because I think that's where they met.
So in that film, they do basically. It seemed the implication is that they have a bunch of embryos and they pick and choose the traits from the things the things that they want.
Sure.
Designer baby. So that would seem to make sense in this society.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I mean, again, I feel like they say that straight up that they can tell like who's going to be great at what while it's still cooking.
But
so
the thing
I
is,
can't
are they
imagine.
designing for the task, or is it sort of
I
function
think,
follows form?
I think they're designing for the task.
Mm.
That's my opinion. I don't base it on anything, just my understanding.
Whatever it is, it's filthy and bad, and I don't like it. And
No,
these
it's bad.
people are Nazis, and fuck them.
Yeah.
They can go hang with Spock for all I care. The
So-
OG Nazi in space.
Peace, Nazis.
So I do hate to cut this off, but we've still got another episode to
No,
go,
we
and we've
do,
been going
we
for a
do.
while.
Oh, wow, yeah. No,
And Conundrum was fucking great.
Yeah,
I liked Conundrum a lot, yeah.
Conundrum
I don't-
is good.
I don't think I've ever seen this one,
Oh,
so
The worst Star Trek.
You know-
Well, I said it I said a couple of weeks ago. This is the one I'd seen the least of before we started.
I
the
remember.
best one.
I remember watching this episode for the first time. Probably not when it originally aired, but in a rerun, and maybe having missed some of it or something, and thinking, "Who the fuck is this guy? Oh, he's just some dude that happened to be on the bridge at that time, and he's just." And until they do the scene where they go through the crew manifest, and like. I think before that they had like shown him looking sinister, and I figured it out. But I remember being a kid and being like, "Oh, it's a fucking alien!"
Well, see, you know what it was? The reason I figured out something was wrong with him relatively quickly, because like you at first, I was just like, "Oh yeah, he's just some extra." But then I noticed he was a commander.
Yeah,
It's like extras are never that high
yeah,
rank.
they pushed their luck.
So because I
The
noticed,
audience disbelief.
yeah, I noticed his pips, and I was like, he's up to something. He's fake. I bet if I rewound, he wasn't there before the memory wipe.
Well, yeah, and it's totally different, like, when you have, like, a random ensign sitting
Yeah.
in for Wesley, but
Right.
a commander, that's, yeah. like
That's
I said,
what
a big
I
deal.
thought something was up. Like, had I not noticed his rank pips, I thought, oh yeah, he's some extra. And then he would have been talking a lot
If he
more.
had long hair, you'd never know.
Right. Like, as he got more and more lines, I would have started to think, this is weird. But even before that, because I noticed his rank, I was like, it's not right.
Yeah, if they really wanted to trick the audience, they would have made him like a lieutenant or something.
But he had to be the first officer.
Yeah, he had to have some level of clout so that he could say, "This is what we're doing. Worf is on my side. We might mutiny. You don't know."
Let's talk about how great Captain Worf was while he was Captain
He was
Worf.
so terrible.
When
at
you
being
say
a captain.
great, you mean horrible,
He was
right?
such a shitty captain.
He was, but I love how he was like, I might be the captain. I got this big fucking sash.
I am also
Which is
decorated.
logical, which is like a cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
But then
They did
everyone
that.
clearly decided to go with it because he was in the chair and he was
Are
fucking
you gonna
pleased.
fucking argue with that
Yeah,
big
Yeah,
motherfucker?
shit. He was so happy
He's
to be in the
I
chair.
don't know. Kieran
6'4".
Kieran threw him across the room with the smallest shove.
Yeah, he got wharfed pretty
Yeah.
bad in this.
But still, like-
I like how sheepish he looked when it was like Jean-Luc Picard is the captain who's like, hey,
Well,
that's
that's also even before that. Like even when, like Crusher comes in to give a status report, and like Picard starts talking, and Worf just stands there, kind of like emasculated for several seconds.
But yeah, no,
how can you be emasculated when you got two dicks?
I do like that, you know, as soon as the proper rank's revealed, he's still Worf at his core. It's like, sorry.
Worf core.
And I thought that was a nice touch, because that's very...
Worfed core.
Go
It's,
Worf.
it's a very Worf thing, though, that he would be like, fuck. But
My
yeah, so
bad.
I loved Captain Worf, his ridiculous, ridiculous man.
He's not a merry man, you understand?
No. Data the bartender. Would you like
I
a beverage?
loved it. He's so goddamn cute.
He's the cutest.
Yeah, this episode just has so much that I like about it.
I do wish. So we had this woman that Bev is
Oh, the
doctoring hard, who hurt herself swimming or
Yeah,
Jumping off of
Diving,
cliffs, I
diving,
think.
Yeah,
She tucked when she should have rolled or something.
yes.
Straightened out.
Straightened out. Yeah, tuck and roll something else.
Yikes. And, she's like, I'm just in a bathing suit. I have no idea who I am. Like, this doesn't tell me anything except maybe I can swim, but since I've hurt myself, maybe I can't?
Yeah, do you got
What?
some clothes I can borrow?
Till I find out where the pool is. I liked that.
Yeah, that was cute.
So my
I saw more of her.
third note on this episode, before, it was revealed what the plot was going to be. Oh, Lord, are Riker and Ro going to hate fuck already?
I like
Not
it.
quite.
It weirdly worked.
So much.
Oh, it's so good.
And even with the triangle, with both when Riker was Three's companying it up with a Troy on one arm and a Ro on the other arm, it actually ended up feeling right for Riker.
Yeah. And like, and it's not as though this is the first time we're seeing them, not get along. They really.
Well, he hated her from the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
Racist piece
Take
of
your
shit.
fucking earring out, yeah.
And although we didn't really, I don't think, need the scene of them fighting at the beginning, I didn't think it detracted at all.
Oh, no.
It set it up.
It worked perfectly. I just...
You're like, this is hate fucking season.
Yeah, I thought
Game
that hate
on.
fucking was going to happen because I didn't know what was coming, so it was even better.
Riker is
No.
always what's coming. Chris.
Speaking of coming, imagine the couple that was mid-coitus when the
Oh, man.
memory wipe happened.
Well, clearly
Yeah.
I must know you.
Shall we continue? All right, then. At Port...
Very polite.
I think these are my quarters. All right, just stay here. I think Barclay was on the holodeck.
Oh, of course.
He was actually completely unaffected. He didn't even notice anything was wrong. He came back out like, just been swashbuckling all afternoon. Everything's fine.
That actually would have been an amazing variant of the
I don't know
episode.
who I am, but that's nothing new.
He comes out, and for some
Oh,
reason he's
shit.
not affected, and like, we're not at war with anybody, and Barclay has to somehow convince them all what's going on.
Well, usually, like, I'm surprised they did kind of not address it at all, but why? What was the thing and why did it affect Data?
And the computer.
Yeah, well, I guess if it can affect the computer, it can affect Data, because he's a computer.
Yeah,
well,
but, like,
but the
how did
computer
this-
wasn't just like memory, right? It was like specific information was locked out in the computer.
That's true, yeah.
I just
Well,
want to
then
know
they locked
how...
out specific things about Data, too.
How fucking
But how did
advanced are these aliens?
well, that's the thing. How did the people that couldn't beat the Lysians on their own come to have all of this amazing equipment?
Well,
Why don't they just use that fucking equipment on the Lysians?
Maybe it only works on people
Lysians.
and human computers.
Or maybe because they've been fighting these people, the Lysians have been fighting them so long, they know how to protect against it.
I don't know. I just find it suspicious.
Yeah, but then they could
Why didn't
literally
they develop
take over...
better weapons?
They
better
could take over
weapons?
any fucking ship.
I know,
and any ship could beat the fucking Lysians.
Yeah, that seems like a fucking Deus Ex type of weapon. Like,
Yeah.
There's no way.
Maybe this is the only one. Maybe it was a prototype.
Maybe.
Yeah, but now these people are a fucking like nightmare. Like when the Federation learns this is what happens, it's like, fuck, we gotta do something about these Saturns or whatever the fuck they were called, because they have technology that could literally destroy the Federation.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, at that point, the Order's just become on site, shields up, shoot to kill.
I mean, that's an interesting thought, and if this had been a different show, it might have been explored. But the idea of a vastly outmatched opponent, but that they have like one killer thing that they can do that will still fuck you up.
Kind of like the game.
Yeah.
It was very game-like. Sneaking into
I was actually thinking that
the Federation with this one really good trick you had. It's like the hedgehog in the box.
The hedgehog has one trick.
One good one.
Singing.
Rolling and collecting rings.
But I think, too, everyone did a really...
That's two things.
Echidnas are good at that, too.
A very good job of somehow being... Like, they did a good job of being their characters while not knowing who they were, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, because, again, clearly their core personalities were roughly intact.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But they were still...
And their general, like, abilities.
Yeah, but there's still some confusion there, and I think they all conveyed that pretty well.
Yeah, like Ensign Rowe and Riker.
I know how to make this drink. Okay.
I must be the bartender.
Rowe and Riker is a good example of that because Rowe basically acted like Rowe.
Yeah.
And Riker absolutely acted like Riker.
Right.
So
Little Riker acted a lot like Little Riker.
So barring sort of the
personal history.
The personal history of the two of them, they would be a great match, evidently.
Yeah, and I buy it. They're both headstrong, stubborn.
I kind of felt bad for Riker when he opened that book and realized, fuck. I'm supposed to love Troy? God damn it.
No. Riker opened that and thought, oh man, I might get it with two chicks. Maybe I can convince them to both come over.
He quickly scribbles in another book, Dear Roe, I love you, Troy.
Nice. Cornball.
I love that. I wish he would have. I mean, I don't really wish he would have because that's like coercion, but you know what I mean.
It is, however, rather a fascinating... What does it say, or what is the show saying either intentionally or not? That Picard was pretty willing to just kind of be like, yeah, I guess this lumpy-headed guy's in charge. Like,
Maybe I'm the janitor.
He just plopped down at the, like, helm and was like, yeah, okay, digging around. Like,
well, he's a jack of all trades.
He loves...
a Jill of all trades.
We've seen him fly the ship before. He likes
True.
flying it.
But, you know, it's interesting that he doesn't immediately, like... assert himself more, you know, and it's interesting because you feel
he's diplomatic, because he's not just a headstrong, like...
No, I know, but there's diplomacy,
nozzle.
And then there's, like, just letting shit happen, you know?
Did anybody happen to notice if they ever call Roe by her name once they find out?
Laren?
Well, because I wonder if they did, because they wouldn't have known that Bajorans use their names.
Yeah,
no, but in the
crew manifest.
Cars, yeah.
There was no comma?
No, there must have been a comma, because that's how they just inserted everybody's name. We can go back and check the footage.
I think the one time they did say her name, they used her full name, so you couldn't really tell what they were thinking there.
Well, except it would have been based on the same pattern as the others.
Yeah, well, because if the names were presented as, or if they... I don't know.
Oh, I don't know.
Would they intuitively know that last names come last?
Well, the computer should have known.
Yeah, well, computer has amnesia, so...
Yeah.
Well, the computers, you still say Roe Laren, so would they just assume that Laren was her last name, or...
I mean,
they know that Roe was her last name?
I do know at the very least, the one panel I did see clearly was Troy's, and hers it was Troy, Lieutenant Commander Deanna.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw on the Memory Alpha, they actually showed side by side the remaster and the old one because they like fixed up the font and made it prettier in the remastered one, and they showed Kieran's side by side so that you could see what life he made up for himself, basically.
Neat.
And it's Macduff, Commander Kieran.
That's an interesting choice of name, Macduff.
Oh, Macduff.
So would Rose have been Roe, Ensign Laren?
I guess so.
Do you want to go find a screenshot?
Yeah.
I don't
what
think
it
they
should
actually
have
showed
been,
the
yeah.
screen. I don't know if they showed the screen.
But that's what it
I
should have
don't
been. Roe, Ensign, Laren.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wonder, like, I'm probably overthinking it, like, whoa, as the kids say, but
those kids.
On some level, does he pick that name because he knows the literary connection? It's like, of course they'll trust me. Macduff is the one you trust. He helps bring down the twisted Macbeth.
Yeah, I mean, they must have had to... Because they had to do some pretty sophisticated shit in a very short amount of time. To not just, not just block access to the computers, but to insert all kinds of information. The bio information on Macduff, they had to generate unless they were planning this for months and knew what humans looked like, they had to generate a likeness for Macduff.
I mean, at the very least, they had time because they were just fully locked out of the computer for a while.
That's true.
So they did have some time, but yes, they at least had to know what Macduff was going to look like.
Is there a co-conspirator? Because the ship was destroyed.
It was probably, presumably some sort of worm they put in the system that was going to work.
Maybe.
Well, they couldn't do anything.
It had to create the fake mission and the fake war and...
Yeah, a lot of that was probably pre-written.
Yeah.
This was the episode where, the ship appeared, starboard and then disappeared, and then appeared port and then disappeared. Was that this one?
No, that was last week. That was
in the Galorndon core.
No, in
the black cloud.
In the dark cluster. Oh. They were seeing center reflections of the Enterprise.
Oh, that's silly.
Yeah, no, this one just came at them head on, but because they didn't know what it was, they were like, let's try to be friends. And that went poorly.
Picard has very few friends.
Yeah.
Does he have fewer friends than O'Brien?
O'Brien eventually has at least one very good friend.
Oh man, that would have been the B plot I would have loved to see in this episode is...
What O'Brien and
Keiko deciding they hated each other. You want me to eat what? What the fuck is wrong with you, woman? That's a shit salad!
Yikes.
Oh no, not a shit salad. It's my least favorite kind of salad.
Oh, Jesus, we apparently have a baby. This sucks.
Why does it have head ridges?
Yikes.
Sand them down. Every day, Keiko just has to sand them down.
It's like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
I was going to say it's like Hellboy.
Yeah, that. I've never seen Hellboy, I don't know.
Oh, he...
Same thing as Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Really?
He sands his,
because they won't let him play the reindeer games?
Down to those little stumps. They're not just, broken or something.
Why does he do that?
I don't remember. It was in the movie. I don't know if it's like that in the comics.
But why? Why would you do that?
I don't know.
Well, I hate it, and I demand answers.
Go watch the movie.
No.
But I read that the original plot, because this episode kicked around for a while whilst doing rewrites and stuff, but the original plot was very different, it sounds like, and involved drafting soldiers into military by rewriting their memories.
Yo, that's dark.
Which is fun.
There
sort of.
There are
it's a little like, what was it? I forget the name of the episode with Roga Dinar, the super soldier.
Oh.
There's other episodes. There's at least one, might be another one too, where that actually does happen.
Really? Oh, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
Good job, Drake.
Yeah.
Sorry. But yes, this I think was a very good exploration of.
It's a clever sci-fi story too.
Yeah, and you see them sort of struggling with knowing that something seems off.
Yeah, and I'm a sucker for an identity story, and
yeah.
I've read a ton of plays and stories and stuff about people who lose their memories, and it's what is your identity if you have no memory, and most of them suck and they're stupid. But this was actually handled really, really well.
Yeah. Well, I think part of the key is the fact that their core personalities were still intact. That allowed it to be a different kind of exploration in that regard.
Yeah, and they also keep working, which is fascinating. They know that every single one of them is professional enough, probably except for Barkley, who's probably toying around with his noodle. That well, the best way to keep going is to just work on whatever it is we're working on and go. What's that? Attack the Lysians? Sure, that sounds right. Kill 53 people? I'm sure that's fine.
Oh god, I should look at my notes.
Should you?
Because I had many thoughts about this episode, most of which were just this is great.
Yeah, yes. What does your empathing tell you, Troy? Nothing? Great.
Good note.
Every week I write the same note.
You actually just write that in before the episode even starts. Like, I'm just going to assume.
Although I did like when Troy was like looking at Riker and being like, something's familiar about you, and I'm like, she's picturing you without the beard.
I thought you were going to say without the pants.
There's that moment
that
when they're in 10 forward and Troy's like, yeah, I seem to have an ability that the others don't. You could they didn't cut away, but you could sense the massive eye roll from Riker and Ro when she said that.
Yeah.
I sense you're rolling your eyes at me.
My final note, not that we can't keep going, but it's just, this is everything Riker has ever deserved.
I wrote, hello, all of my chickens. How's the roost?
Oh, God. That...
Like, I don't see, like, what, like... Because Troy
There's no animosity at all.
Well, Troy seemed a little angry at him. She was kind
Well,
of
she wanted him for herself and realized, fuck, this one's got more tits than me.
Well, because they fucking were in the middle of a horrifying catastrophe where nobody has a brain anymore. And his answer is bone down with everybody who's interested.
That's true.
Like, that's the thing. That's about both of them. It's like, God, you two. I mean, there's taking things in stride, and then there's what you're doing. Like, God damn.
He did have the Horgon, though. So
He
that
did.
is a powerful center of sexuality.
It is. Really, though, like...
I seem to be able to play the trombone. Oh, really? Or whatever this is doing.
I mean, he would be able to play the trombone because everybody
memory.
Everybody had their abilities.
Yeah, their skills were still...
Yeah, but you don't play the trombone by sticking your dick in it, right?
That's true.
Says you.
Tromboner.
They're looking over everyone's records. Hey, Worf, this says you have a son and he lives on the ship.
So what the... Speaking of Worf, okay. Can we just talk a little bit, not about Captain Worf, but about little bitch, gotta follow, like, fucking follower Worf. He is the kid who, when all of his friends jumped off the bridge, he did it.
Well, I think it's because at his heart he wants to be Johnny Klingon. And this guy is saying, let's go kill some shit. And that speaks to that part of him that his years of...
He just wants to fit in, period. I don't know if it even has to be Klingon.
This is the same shit he pulled with Sati, too, though. You know, where basically whoever is wrong, Worf's gonna side with them.
Sati could have given him something he wanted. Or at least her asshole aide could have. Because they were saying we'd talk about your fucking honor and shit.
Yeah, but they wouldn't have been able to do shit.
No, they couldn't.
That was a classic trick.
Well, they were just being like, we still trust you and we like you and you can lead an investigation. How does that feel? Like, they flattered him to be what it comes down to.
How would you like all these crumpets? Stuffed? Good.
Oh my.
But yeah, I don't know. I think...
but at the end, he does make the right choice.
Yeah. Yeah. After it has become clear that shit is fucked, it wasn't like, I mean, at that point I think it was a coin flip for him as to whether everything that everyone said has made sense, like we've just totally wiped the floor with these aliens, but and poor God, he got retired from Sex Planet.
The Edo God,
and now he's working for these guys.
He's doing a great job being their mission command.
Yeah, with his little drone ships and his...
ships sucked.
How big do you think the fucking fruit basket had to be, by the way?
All of the fruit.
It's like, all right, so you blew up one of our ships and, like, most of our defenses for our central
Now the
command.
Lycians can just swoop in. Great.
Yeah, thanks.
Where's Prime Directive here?
But I feel like at this point you fucked the Prime Directive so badly, they're, like, required to at least send, like, I don't know,
Wesley.
a couple of Oberths and a really beaten up Miranda to help until they get the drones rebuilt.
But what a good they really did a good job at the plot holes in this episode, like not leaving them. With the whole it's part of a coordinated attack.
I don't know, we lost that swimmer pretty early.
That's true. But just the way that they wrote it such that it makes sense that they can't just call home.
Yeah. And I even like Macduff volunteers to be the one that to get his memory back because he knows I could just fucking fake this and they're gonna believe it.
Yep.
If they did it to literally anybody else, they'd get their memories back and it would be a problem.
Yep.
So good on him.
Bad on Bev falling for it though.
That bitch.
Well, keep in mind,
I will not.
if she scans him, her readings will be all fucked up because he's not human. But
did she scan him?
I think she did. So, like, if her, it's like, we're doing this treatment on you. Do. I'm gonna scan you. Oh, none of this makes sense. So, and it's a species they've never apparently dealt with before, so the computer's not gonna go, this guy's a hoodoo-doo.
Yeah, why have they never met either of these races before?
Yeah, I don't know.
Big universe.
Yeah.
So do you think... So there's a scene when Macduff calls Worf down to his quarters to
Conspire.
Mutiny prep. It's our workshop for mutiny
It would
prep.
have been great if Worf had walked in and been like, Commander, there's literally nothing in your room. It's like a completely unfurnished quarters that no one's lived in until today.
This is actually a storage closet.
Was it really? I didn't even look.
Well, I'm just assuming that it's not as if Macduff has any personal effects.
Yeah.
Unless that was also part of the
Alex's room. Alexander's room.
Yeah, he just he just takes Data's room. Oh, Macduff, you have no bed. You're into painting, I see. Oh, you've got a cat. Wonder if Spot was affected.
Oh, Spot.
Spot sees Data and is just like, who the fuck are you?
Is that already happening?
I was gonna say, how would he know the difference? That just sounds like cats.
Maybe the black cat was affected by Macduff, and that's why every time you come over, he forgets he likes you.
But yeah, no, I really very much enjoyed this one. The way the way things, it was paced really well and folded well. They dropped things at just the right time. You know, the only issue, and again, there was no helping it, was just the fact that you could see what's his name's pips, and it was like, so you're under maybe 5 minutes earlier than the writers wanted you to be. But even then, that's not that big a deal.
No, I feel like it still works.
Oh yeah, no, it still works great.
Yeah, I feel like you might expect there to be other people on the ship at time to time.
Yeah,
but
also
I read in somewhere that he was the first officer. I was like, is there a difference between first officer and what was he, the XO?
XO. Yeah.
What's the difference? Is there one?
Usually the XO is the first officer.
Yeah.
So what was Riker?
Second command.
Oh, okay.
Which is actually what Data is.
Yeah.
Then what was Data? Bartender.
Right.
Yes.
Amazing bartender.
He's operations, chief of operations.
Yeah,
my first assumption was the Sumerian sunset is amnesia-inducing.
Well, it should be.
Only if you mix it nice and strong. That's the desired effect.
Guinan actually wasn't affected.
Yeah, no, I was thinking she wouldn't have been.
And she just
Where
slept.
the fuck
She
was
slept
she?
through the whole thing.
Yeah.
She has a hibernation cycle for species.
She does?
Yeah, they talked about it.
No,
Are you being
don't
sarcastic?
never listen
Okay,
to
great.
Jake.
I was gonna say,
I think we used that once to explain why she's not around in episodes where it'd be really handy to have her.
Oh, so then they have talked about it, and they
Well,
are we.
Yes. It's like she doesn't sleep except for like 1 week every couple of months. And, because I
Sounds like
think
most grad students.
I think the woman that could tell that something was wrong with the space-time continuum probably has a pretty firm memory.
Like memory foam?
Pliable.
Like a super firm MyPillow?
Yeah.
Who's our sponsor this week again?
My pillow.
Do you always think that from certain angles, and I don't know if they did this on purpose when they cast him, but I thought from certain angles Macduff kind of looked like 80s Shatner.
I did not notice that, but
I could buy that a little bit.
Yeah, I don't get if they did it on purpose, but it was one thing. It was mostly when they had him like kind of at profile. I mean, God, it kind of looked like Shatner. So they trust him more. They may not remember who Kirk is, but on some level they remember. Because of all the history books.
I don't know where you're going with this, Chris.
I'm just kind of rambling like a crazy person.
We're rambling until Jake realizes that he
Are we
should
trying
wrap
to? Are we
the
trying to
episode.
end it here? All right.
I'm
fine.
trying to, but I think I just killed the momentum.
That's
Yeah.
cool. We
Sorry,
just kind
everyone.
of petered out there. I don't know. I feel like both these episodes are pretty good this week.
Yeah.
It made me surprised that a lot of people didn't like Masterpiece Society.
Oh, I
thought
liked
was
it.
Cool.
Oh no,
I
I liked
did
it
like
too.
it.
I like the episode. I just think
Their society just sucks.
Yeah.
I'm the only one who likes this society.
Yes.
I think it's
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
No, there's probably a bunch of neo-Nazis somewhere that like it.
Yeah, no, the episode was actually quite good. It's just the society had issues.
Yeah, go get your tiki torch.
But
and-
of the two, I will say that Conundrum stands a very good chance, but I know there's a lot of season left, but of making my top three.
Whoa.
we're more than halfway through the season.
I know what's coming up in this season.
Yeah,
So.
there's some good shit coming up. So
It won't. I don't think it'll last.
well, we'll talk about what's coming up next. I mean, the whole. It's okay. So as we all know, DS9 has a baseball episode. This is Star Trek TNG's hockey episode in Power Play. Power Play.
Is it
Five for fighting.
It's not actual hockey, is it?
No.
Okay, great. I know what power play is.
I don't know what possessed me to make that joke.
Oh my god! Can you imagine Worf playing hockey though?
Voyager has a hockey thing. Paris plays hockey with Kim.
Does he?
Yeah.
Huh.
I haven't seen the episode. I only know this because they're characters on Star Trek timelines. And I maxed them both.
Anyway.
I love how much you still love that game, man.
So yeah, we will be covering the episode called Power Play. It is not about hockey. As well as we'll be talking about the episode called Ethics.
Oh, fuck. We are not smart enough for that episode.
Really? It's a terrible title.
Oh, come on, Chris. Grow a spine.
No one else gets the joke! This is my favorite kind of joke.
I'm making puns. I'm making jokes that'll make sense to our audience if they know the episodes.
And if not,
but they're not including the rest of your co-hosts.
That's fine. We'll explain it to you later if you would like.
Thanks for mansplaining to us later.
I will mansplain.
I don't need your
until the cows
pity mansplanations, okay?
Sure. All right. Well, we will be covering. We'll be covering those next week. That has been the end of this week. Find and like our Facebook page on Facebook and subscribe to our Twitter and Tumblr, SSHB Podcast. Also, sshbpodcast.com. .com. And you can subscribe to our podcast if you like, if you're not already subscribed, by going to iTunes or other podcast stores or shops or free cycle. Can you free cycle
a podcast free cycle? That sounds exciting.
Cool. And of course you can download us directly at soundcloud.com.
You're getting better at this.
And search for Star Trek.
Or at least better at saying SoundCloud.
I am getting good at that.
Only took you 5.5 seasons.
We're more than halfway through my turn of doing this nonsense. So, good luck, whoever's next. Caitlin, you're gonna have to do these outros when we get to Deep Space Nine.
That's okay. I'm good at those.
Oh, good.
Yeah, she's already got them down. She's already planned every single one.
We'll see how this. Well, then we'll see. You'll see. Maybe we'll see how easy this is then, and see what you're saying then.
I helped with an outro on a podcast every week for how long was Fox's on? A long time.
A while.
A long time.
Well, whatever. So yeah, find our podcast.
I'm just kidding. I think it's going to be super hard.
Yeah,
it's going to be really difficult.
It is super hard.
I'm with you. It's horrible.
Try trying to work in the sponsorship messages in there. All right. If you can't work the sponsorship messages in there, you might as well grow a beard because you're not going to be able to afford to buy the razors that you would get. But wait, you will be able to afford those razors because it come from Dollar Shave Club, which is a great fucking deal.
I actually do use Dollar Shave Club. Their razors are great.
I reuse razors for years.
Do you really?
I do. I'm really cheap.
Lily,
it's more that I'm lazy.
I can't. What do you like?
Why don't you go on and make a website about it at squarespace.com. Squarespace.
Okay, can we wrap this up?
We're
it's
the
getting
Squarespace.
Very late.
All right, that's about it. My name has been Jake.
This has been Chris.
Wake up, Chris. This has been Ames.
And this is always Caitlin.
You ever notice that Ethan Hawke's name could be corrupted into Eaton Cock?
No, I never noticed that. But now that you mention it, I'll never be able to unsee it.